Hey guys, here I'm going to do another review on a new yo-yo, which I got maybe almost 3 weeks ago. If you guys like what I'm trying to do, which is basically try to grow my channel and give you guys some information on yo-yos, basically make a fool of myself on camera, but hey, who cares? This is YouTube after all. I'd like to give you guys pretty good, the best information I can possibly give you guys on yo-yos, reviews, and my own opinions, and unboxings, of course. So, what I will be reviewing today will be the Premiere by Something, which I'll start off with the box, which is right here. This is a fairly simple, fairly standard box for most companies. For example, here's the box that I got with the diffusion. Same overall design, look, and everything, just fairly simple. Again, here is the Yo-Yo Officer box, it's right here. Bigger, of course, but the same design, obviously, same look. But overall, you know, it's fairly simple. I wish companies would try to get a little bit more sophisticated in their boxing, but they're probably thinking you're more focused on the yo-yo itself, the return top. What's the use in having a very fancy box? But you know, it's how you present it. You know, how you want to present yourself or the product. You got to give it a nice package. And Yo-Yo Factory, their new display packages are very nice. I really like that. But as for something like this, it's simple, way simple. If it was something like the old Yo-Yo Factory boxes that they still have, that's pretty nice. Okay, I don't like the pull-up tab. I don't like that too much, but it's nice. It's got some nice design elements to it. Here's the Smart U series yo-yos. I like this. It's nice. It's got all these fairly simple. It's got the same pull-up tab that the Yo-Yo Factory has, but it doesn't seem as difficult to pull it out. And it's a lot simpler. It's a lot easier. I like this. This is nice. But compared to something like this, it's simple. But here we have a nice white gloss finish. Okay, with these two gray stripes up here, and of course we have stripes going all along the box, as you can see. We have the something here, which is something by addiction, which that triangle symbolizes, which is the addiction part, or addict. Nothing on the bottom. Here on the side you have something is a yo-yo brand owned and operated by world yo-yo champion Hiroyuki Suzuki. And here on the side you have something by Yo-Yo Addict. And again, here you just have a warning. It says, not a toy, not for children under 13 years old. Nothing fancy on the box, just way too simple to me, in my honest opinion, but it does the job of holding the yo-yo in there. But again, I just wish they would, you know, do something a lot nicer with their boxes, because it's how you present the product. And obviously, you look at the packaging and you see something like this and you'll think, it looks cheap. Doesn't look like it'd be a good product, and it says a lot about what you're trying to buy. And you think first impressions is what honestly is what drives you to it. If the box looks like this, you're not going to look at it and you're going to think, it must be a cheap yo-yo if the box is that cheap, or maybe you won't even look at it. You'll just see it and you'll, not worth it. But you know, how you present the product, you really want to convey what you're giving. Okay, what you're trying to represent. But overall, it gets the job done. Hopefully, you know, maybe they redesign the box, maybe make it a little bit more intricate, maybe design it a little better. But that's just me right now. That's just me nitpicking right there. Let's put the box to the side and let's get to the good part, which is the yo-yo, which is right here, the Premiere by Something. Now this thing is nice. I love this thing. It's very, very nice. It's a kind of a translucent green, kind of teal. It looks blue in my camera light, or my lighting, and it does look kind of blue, especially in the light, but you can obviously tell this is a green yo-yo. Very translucent, and I just love the way this thing looks. I love the way I love this gloss finish. I love this very nice translucent look. It's just a very beautiful looking yo-yo. Of course, this being an old plastic, it doesn't have any weighted rings around the edges here or on the sides, which is kind of cheating in my opinion for a plastic yo-yo. The only metal that it does have are the spacers, the bolt, or should I say the axle, and the nut here, as well as the other nut here, which the axle screws into. And then you have the bearing, of course, which that to me is an all plastic yo-yo, because it only has what it necessarily needs when it comes to metal. But this thing is just amazing. Excuse me. This yo-yo, when I first got it, I saw the box and I thought it was, honestly, I thought it was just going to be cheap. I thought that I wasted my money, because when it first got it, it looked, the box was very hard to open up. And I like to keep my boxes as in good condition as I possibly can. And look at this. See, look at that. Not too good of a box, but when I first got it, it came in here with its own string. Look at that. Look at that. See, it conveys a cheap feeling to it. It came like this, and of course it was closed. It came like this, and I saw it, and I thought, this looks cheap. I wasted my money on this thing. So I kind of took my time when I first when I got it. And you see my unboxing, I'm a little hesitant because this box really put me off. Opening it up, I did struggle a little because it was stiff. And when I got the yo-yo, I quickly changed my tune. When I got this yo-yo and I took it out of the box, I quickly changed my tune, because this thing, obviously and realistically, just looks really nice. I just love the way this thing looks. I just love this gloss finish and this translucent look to this thing. Of course, because of this gloss finish, it does pick up scratches really quickly. Even if you try to take as best care of this thing as you can, it will get scuff marks, it will get the scratches. And, you know, that is a downer, especially with such a nice looking yo-yo. But overall, this is just really nice. I love this thing. It does come in white, and I'm hoping that they come out in more colors, especially translucent colors, because this thing just, it conveys a very nice look to itself. It's just beautiful. Hopefully they bring out more colors, because I want to get another one. I love this thing so much that I want to get another. I don't want to get white. I want to see what other colors they have, and maybe they'll get a color that really pops and I really like. And I see and I go, I want that. And hopefully they will. And I want to see what colors they come out, and hopefully they do. But overall, this thing is just a nice looking yo-yo. A very simple text down here: Premiere Something by Yo-Yo Addict. Again, that's on the other side as well. Very nice looking yo-yo. Now, the specs on this thing: it is manufactured by Something. Okay, this is their design, which is designed in Japan, because it is a Japanese-based company. This play style is good for 1A, 3A, and 5A. It says on Yo-Yo Store or Yo-Yo USA that this was made in China, and it doesn't say on Yo-Yo Store Rewind, which is the main site, and Yo-Yo Store or Yo-Yo USA is the sister site. It doesn't say where this was made on Yo-Yo Store Rewind, but it does say on Yo-Yo USA, which is kind of odd. The weight is 65.8 grams. On Yo-Yo Expert, it says it's 65.6 grams. It's got a diameter of about 57.31 millimeters, with a width of 42.83 millimeters, a trapeze width of 39 millimeters, and this is an H shape. Of course, it's plastic yo-yo, and it has a size C center track bearing with the Yo-Yo Factory large CBC pads, which is pretty cool. Okay, because almost everybody has a Yo-Yo Factory and they have those pads, so it's pretty cool. If not, you can always put flowable silicone in here. Doesn't seem like it'd be a problem, but it's not bad. Now I'm going to compare this to another yo-yo that has an extremely similar shape, which is don't get me wrong, I'm not going to compare playability, because these are two whole different leagues of yo-yo. They're each in their all different ballpark or different league. And here's the Chief. Obviously, they do have a very similar shape, which is an H shape. Very similar, as you can see. It's not as tall and it's not as wide as the Chief, but they do share a very similar shape, which is very nice, because the Chief does feel really good in the hand, as does the Premiere. Being an all plastic, you can either be turned on or off by the plastic, by the feel, because it could feel cheap, it could feel flimsy, it could just convey itself as a very unattractive and very unassuming plastic throw. But as for this, it does none of that. This thing feels really nice in the hand. It feels very sturdy and solid in the hand. Just a really nice throw. As for playability, this thing will pretty much keep up to what you throw at it. Although the sleep time isn't all that great, you could probably make it better by switching out the bearing, changing up the string, maybe the response. But most likely the bearing will be the biggest factor in the sleep time of this thing, because it seems like it might be an 8-ball bearing, which is pretty standard for most budget throws. You can get this yo-yo for on sites, on yo-yo retailers, online for about $24.99, maybe more, including shipping and handling. Yo-yo experts about $5, and overseas it's usually about $10. So yeah, if I was to get this off of overseas, I'd probably grab a couple other yo-yos to make it worth it, because $10 shipping and handling, not that great. But what it describes on the Yo-Yo Store Rewind site and the Yo-Yo USA site, it says something for everyone. Premier is the new ultimate plastic yo-yo. Premier is something's new full plastic yo-yo, fits easily in your hand and plays like your dream, which it does. It has almost the same size and shape as the Addiction, but without the metal rim weight, obviously. Because of the material, Premier looks related to the Jet Set and Jet Set EC, like the Jet Sets. Addiction and Premier give you the sweet contrast of yo-yos with and without rim weights, which it honestly really does. It's just a nice plastic. Now, it plays smoothly, but has a real sense of power, and it does. This thing, when I first threw it, surprised me because it was very smooth and well balanced and extremely stable for what it was. Being an all plastic, that's usually a problem. With the beautiful design and body material, it's hard for any player to look at the Premier without wanting one for himself or herself. Swap out the bearing for a size C bearing to turn your Premier into a tug response yo-yo, perfect for the beginner in your life. Even as a tug response model, Premier has a great amount of spin and gives beginners plenty of sleep time to practice their moves, which is true. This thing is a nice plastic throw. It's got a nice gap. It's this nice little wide gap. Here's the Chief again. As you can see, the Chief's gap is a little wider because it is taller, but for catch, it's got a pretty nice catch zone, which is pretty good for a plastic throw, especially one so cheap on the market. Being a budget plastic, this thing though is very stable, very well balanced on the string, and most plastics have problems with that. They usually have a lot of vibe, or they feel very slack on the string. They feel very flimsy. That's why a lot of plastic yo-yos have that whim rate in there to make it feel a little heavier, to make it feel a lot more stable, to give it a lot more balance. But this, it doesn't need none of that because it's just that good. At 65.8 grams, this is on the lighter side of plastics, because most plastics are around 67, maybe a little bit heavier. You can totally tell that weight does affect the sleep time a little bit. But if you were to switch out the bearing, you could probably make the sleep time a little bit longer, or a lot longer, depending on what kind of bearing you use. Sorry about that, I did get distracted. I seem to lost my train of thought, but whatever, you know. Let's see if I can pick it up. But again, this thing, just a nice feel on the string. Again, the bearing, maybe swapping that bearing out for maybe a different one will give you a lot better sleep time. This is a concave bearing, but it feels like it's an 8-ball bearing. It doesn't feel like it would give too much spin time to it. But overall, I just really love this thing. I really want to pick up a second one. I love this thing so much that I want to grab another one. I just want to wait to see what other colors they have. If not, I'll probably grab that white one. But again, you know, you get all those scratches and scuffs on this thing. This is a twist apart, obviously, but you know, again, with those plastics yo-yos, you know, they don't really feel all that good. They either feel flimsy, or they feel cheap. They don't feel too solid. They don't feel stable. That's why a lot of them put that weight inside. It kind of corrects most of those problems. And all plastics have a lot of vibe. All yo-yos have some sort of vibe, or no vibe at all. But plastics, almost always, all of them have some sort of vibe. And when I got this thing, there was no vibe at all until I took it apart. But obviously, it will need to be tuned, being an all plastic. The axle is not fixed. It is removable, which allows you to kind of fidget with it, kind of remove that vibe. But honestly, once I put it back together and I had just the slightest vibe, I put it in a trapeze, and I just watched that vibe start off with a slight pulse, and it slowly died down to almost a smooth throw. It was just amazing how well this thing plays. I love it. It came with its own string, which felt like a kiddie string, but kiddie strings do not come with a pre-tied knot. They don't come with the pre-tied loop. This is a kiddie string that I just put in. Obviously, when I get a new yo-yo, I play with it, a stock. That way, I get a feel for how it is. And then after a week, I change out what I want to change out, which is usually the string, maybe the response, depending on what kind of brand it is, Magic Yo-Yo, or the bearing. I didn't switch out the bearing on this thing because it is a concave, or not a concave, a center track bearing, so it allows you to really get some good throws in there and really layer the string on top of one another for longer, intricate string tricks. But if you put maybe a quicker bearing in there, you'll get better play time, and you'll notice a difference like that. Opening this thing apart, you will see the internals. It seems like the axle is trying to come out. So here are the internals. Let me get this string out. Okay, so let's start with this bearing here. As you can see, it is a center track bearing. I don't know how well. Well, there you go. Center track bearing. Feels like an 8-ball. So let's get this thing a good spin. So let's get some tweezers. Stick it in the center here, and a nice hard spin. And it stopped right there. Doesn't have a lot of play to it. Feels like it's kind of like an 8-ball bearing. It feels like that. Maybe switching out the bearing or getting the cleaning this bearing out and getting the lubrication out might give it some better sleep time. But then again, you will be able to wear this bearing out a lot quicker. It could be that they over lubricated this thing, but it doesn't feel like that. It could be the lubrication messing with it, but I don't think it's that. I won't open this thing, the shields, and I won't take the shields out to show you guys if it is or it isn't, because that's not a really good idea, because you can and most likely will get gunk in there, unless you're very careful about how you do it. I'll probably give this a good cleaning and some time to kind of figure out if it is or it isn't, or I'll just switch out the bearing entirely. And here you have the axle, which isn't fixed. It's a fairly thick axle, very long, which is not bad, okay? You won't have a problem with losing this thing if you drop it, because it is pretty thick and it is a pretty nice, nice looking axle with a good gloss to it, so you will be able to see this if you drop it, unlike some other ones that are just very dark and you won't be able to really tell because they're small. Here you have the spacers with the bearing seat. Spacers themselves are just these washers here with a raise up in here with a lip here where the bearing sits. Here you have the metal bolt with the extender coming out here. It's the same on the other side. Overall, this thing is just a really nice looking throw. You can see the translucent, how well that translucent just looks, because you can actually see the text right through here, and it just looks amazing. I love this thing. Overall, play-wise, you can be a beginner and get this thing, and you'll like it. Obviously, you will like it because this thing is more intermediate play-wise, but you can pull off really good, intricate string tricks depending on how well you are or how far along you are in your skill level. Because any good yo-yo player, return top artist, or whatever you want to call it, can make any yo-yo look good depending on how far along he is or how well his skill level is. As a beginner, you might see a yo-yo and you might see somebody pull off some really crazy tricks on it, and it might be a really cheap yo-yo and you might be, man, that yo-yo must be expensive, I gotta have it. If it's that good with him, imagine what I can pull off with it. It's more how you play with it. This thing can pull off advanced string tricks, and you can probably get it to pull off a lot more intricate string tricks and some pretty killer combos on this thing if you change out that bearing, because that bearing doesn't have a lot of play to it. But this thing is just a great overall balanced throw. I love this thing. It's just a very beautiful throw. I love this. I just love how it looks. I love how it feels. It doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel it doesn't feel like it wants to like it wants to like it has a mind of its own. It doesn't have that feel. It has the feel like it'll do what you want it to do, and it just feels incredibly solid and stable on the hand. On the string, it does feel a little light because it is a little lighter. 65 grams for a plastic. It's pretty light. But on the string, this thing does feel like a small little plastic powerhouse. Even though it doesn't have that inner rim weight, it honestly feels like a really smooth, stable, like they describe it. It plays like a little powerhouse, which kind of does. I just love this thing. This is, of course, my opinion and my honest thoughts. But if you want to pick one up, go ahead, man. For $24.99, $25, you won't be disappointed. This thing is just a nice little throw. The only thing that I can say you might be disappointed on is the cheap package, the cheap little box. But, it is what it is, but I love this thing. If you guys like this video, give this video a like. If you guys hate it, thumbs down this video. I don't care. Subscribe. I try to post as many videos as I possibly can. I will be doing reviews on my throws, and a lot of those throws are very old, and they still manufacture and they still sell them. And even for the age that they still keep up and play very well to today's standards. So I will be doing reviews. I will be hopefully giving you guys as much information and give you guys my honest thoughts and opinions on what these things can do. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Honestly, just such a beautiful throw. If they come out in other colors, I won't hesitate to pick up another one in what color I want. If not, I will still get another one, and I will get it in white. That way I have two different colors. If you guys like this video, again, leave some feedback, leave a comment. Even the slightest comment or feedback does go a long way, because it does help me improve my videos for you guys. And hopefully in time I will be able to get a better camera, be able to make these videos a lot better and a lot nicer for you guys. I did try out that intro. I don't know if you guys have seen any of my other videos. They did not have an intro. I didn't like it too much, so I decided to switch it out, and I'll probably stick to this new one for a while until I can figure something else out. But for now, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you guys, and bye.